Welcome to the PK Soul Show. Welcome to the PK Soul Show.
Alrighty, everyone. Welcome back to this edition of PK Social. We're so excited. Yes, you did. You missed us. We know it. We're so excited. We're here and we are recapping season 4 of the Greenleaf.
1.
Yes, I am co-host Tammy Pate along with the other PK, the other preacher's kid,
and I am Amber Holloway.
Yes, so we are here to discuss everything about the first episode. It was so exciting. I had to watch it again. It was a lot to digest. So we'll just dive right in. So Amber,
let's see. So I guess the first thing I want to start with is this Harmony and Hope team.
Yeah.
I do not care for Phil and Bob, right? Phil is the black guy, Bob is the white guy, and yeah. I don't care for them. But let me ask you this: did they introduce Phil and Bob? I do remember Phil. Did they introduce Bob last season?
Briefly, he may have been there the last episode or two. They introduced him as the leader, but this season we're starting to see his true colors. Yeah. And it's not like he really cares about the church or people growing. He's just all about the enterprise or the
as long as it's crowded,
the organization. Yes, quick and easy is what he seems to like. So I think it's very different. Now I can't remember on the last season, was Grace in favor of him, or because it kind of
great? Well, I think they had to be convinced. I do remember Carissa is the one that convinced Jacob, like, oh, this will be great for Calvary. Yeah. Harmony and Hope is a great organization, but actually she was more so like, he's rich, he's the richest man in America, so let him.
Yeah, Carissa is showing. I'm not. Carissa's interesting. She seems to be kind of power hungry, ready to be first lady for the title and not necessarily for the work. She just does seem to be kind of inappropriate.
I don't know if I should feel bad for her though, because I'm going to fast forward a little bit, but that part in the episode where she was like, I have earned my right to be in this conversation, when they kind of got into it at the dinner table. And then I thought about it. I was like, well, she has been through a lot, because in the first season he's cheating on her. She forgives him because the first season he cheated on her with a white girl or something like that. The secretary.
He was cheating with several women, I thought.
Yeah, so she got past that. Then he pretty much lost the job or he decided to leave Calvary and start his own. So then she stayed with him through that of him not really having a job, but trying to have a ministry on the side of the road.
But then did she encourage him to have that? Did she kind of...
I think she went along with it. But at the end of the day, she wants him to have a steady check. So I think she gave it a shot. And once she saw this isn't going anywhere, that's when she convinced him, let's just go to Triumph. So she went to him. She went with him to Triumph. His cheating came back. Like, she really has sat through quite a bit.
Carissa
I'm trying not to just throw her under the bus and say, oh girl, you too money hungry. You too. I think she might just be over it. Like, we need some stability. Get somewhere and sit down. I tried to be that ride or die for you, and you kept cheating. So just get a check at least. Like,
well, she seems to be, and to me, she's encouraging him to do what she think will work for them. Like, to me, it's still a motive. Correct. To me, it's still a motive. Like, what's going to work best for us? What's going to bring us out on top? How are we going to be successful? I feel like that's more her motive than what are you supposed to do? What did God call you to do? That doesn't seem to be what she's concerned about. So, quite interesting. Now,
I will say, I do like the way or whoever directed the episode, props to them, because I do like how in the very first scene, they're in church, and it's like the first service is Harmony and Hope. And it's kind of dark. It's like all of a sudden the sanctuary, it just has a dark feel. Like someone else has come in. And that is when I said, Bob is not going to be someone I like. He gets on the mic and, oh, you guys are this is a beautiful crowd to look at.
And he said performance.
Wasn't that a great performance?
That really drove.
And I'm like,
just,
okay, now we get to see. Then I feel like even the women in the audience, they panned the camera to the women in the audience when he started talking about the hats.
Yeah.
He sounded like Trump a little bit. Like, I feel like that's how Trump would act at a black church. Aren't you a beautiful crowd? So many hats. And I feel like they panned to the ladies like, and that, oh, you guys can't see my face, but yeah, they were like side-eyeing each other like, did he just say such beautiful hats?
He was very inappropriate. Very inappropriate.
Very.
But even with Grace, like, I think Grace initially was okay. Yes, that offended her. But when they show clips of last season, the previews before the previews of this season, it seemed like she was more okay with it last year when she realized they basically talked her into doing it because they talked her. Yes, they talked her into being the face, into being the leader. And now she's realizing she's not going to be the face. Yeah. Well, she'll be the face, but she won't be the true leader. You have
no power.
Yeah.
We run this, like, and he told her, like, we need your voice. And I think she didn't realize he meant
what that meant. Yeah. What that meant. Just to keep them.
Just to keep the members.
Now, okay, what is your take on the fact that I do think the Greenleafs care about the church and the ministry, but I'm wondering, do they care to the point where they're trying hard to get it back, not because it's the best thing for the people, but because it's the best thing for their family?
I think right now their attitude, I'm trying to decide whose attitude, because sometimes I'm like, okay, I think James, which is the pastor, James Greenleaf, sometimes I think he wants his ministry back. He wants to see it do well.
Yeah.
Lady May, I feel like, wants it back because in her mind this belongs to us.
Okay.
Like, she's the one I feel like is harping on the issue of it needs to be a Greenleaf over this, or this is ours. I feel like he wants his ministry and she wants it for him because of ownership.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the attitude she's putting into them, because Grace was okay with being the leader, but even when she and Grace had the conversation and she was like, I feel like she was trying to make Grace feel like it's on you now. You have to get this back for our family. Because I was kind of wondering, why is she all of a sudden team Grace? She don't even like Grace.
Yeah.
But to her, it's they got to do what they got to do until they get their church.
Even with Grace, now some of the things Karina said in their rant.
Carissa.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carissa. Some of the things Carissa said.
That's why Carissa act the way she do. Y'all go stop looking over Carissa.
But even in her rant at the end, at the dinner table, and she basically blamed Grace for everything that has happened. I can see that. Yeah, I can see that because Grace turned everything.
Came in and wrecked shit.
Yeah, she did. In the name of we need to be right and we need to.
She was very self-righteous.
Yeah, and I think she didn't understand the depth of what that meant, of her coming in, and I guess I'm kind of torn because I wonder if it's an okay attitude or sentiment to have that you want things to be right, for as a leader you should be right at all times. But at the same time, now she's understanding why certain things were kept. Like, she's going to have to explain her situation that she's trying to avoid with Noah. And it's almost like the tables have turned, and what you said they were wrong for doing, you're now doing it. Absolutely. So I'm just trying to see how that's going to pan out. It's going to be an interesting season.
I was kind of confused. Okay, one thing. Did you notice the scene when Lady Greenleaf decided to walk up to Bob and Connie? Refresher. Connie is the deaconess that decided, I'm tired of the Greenleafs. Y'all are running this church down. We're going to get somebody in here. Connie was having a conversation with Bob after their first service, like in their lobby area. Mm-hmm. And Pastor, or James, was about to go over there and I guess put his foot down.
Piece of his
She's
mind.
like, no, I have this. And I feel like her conversation with him was more inappropriate. Like, I almost was like, why didn't she just let James go over there?
You know what? I think it was to prove to Connie
that
your decision isn't the best decision, because clearly if I can turn him this quick, because it was inappropriate. It was kind of seductive,
and he went along with it.
Right. And I think that was for the sake of proving to Connie that you all are wrong about these people, bringing them in, taking over the ministry. I think that was just to kind of prove a point to Connie.
If you were watching and you didn't notice or you don't remember, it's the scene when Lady Mae addresses them, and then she makes this comment about there are 2 things that people like done slowly. And Connie looked at her and was like, Lady Mae, like, I can't believe you said that. And she was like, one of them is preaching. Anyway, it was a very seductive / old
very
lady
inappropriate scene.
Yeah, it was like an old lady way of being inappropriate and seductive and slick. And Bob, who is the president of Harmony and Hope, realized it, and instead of him, you know, kind of putting her in her place as far as that comment, it was almost like he went along with it, but he allowed her to get away with saying it. He didn't put his foot down. So I see what you're saying, which was her whole purpose. Like, I want to prove to you that he is no better than what you think we are.
Yeah.
So, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was kind of confused. Like, what was that about?
Now, did you notice when Pastor James and Lady Mae were headed to talk to Connie and the president of Harmony and Hope, he was with Grace, and he mentioned
they were all standing there talking.
Yes, Grace was trying to kind of basically keep them motivated, let them know we're going to work on getting it back for the family. And he, for one, was shocked that she and Lady Mae, Grace and Lady Mae, were getting along about something. But he also mentioned something about submitting to feminine wisdom. I don't know if you caught that, but Pastor James mentioned it, and I said, "Really? I want to do me and really feel that way."
Is that when he was, or when they both turned to him and said, "Don't," and that was his response? He
was really kind of, it took him aback that they both agreed. Then he said, "Okay, fine, I'll submit to your feminine wisdom." And I was like, interesting.
Okay.
So I'm wondering.
Well, I do. Okay, well, I feel like now that was probably the writer's way of either acknowledging or making the viewer think, like, is that the attitude in black churches?
Yeah.
The feminine wisdom versus masculine wisdom.
Or like you just consider your wisdom, but our wisdom is feminine wisdom, as if, okay, it's okay, but it's from you.
That is interesting.
I thought that was very interesting. I definitely think it's interesting how Phil and
Bob's
Charity.
Oh, the deal.
Yes. I see that dynamic being something to reckon with later in the season. Like, they don't know what's going on with her now.
I don't even think it's later in the season, because at the end of the episode, she calls him and says, "I'm going to do what you want me to do."
Well, right. In that aspect, but I wonder if something more is going to come from that. I wonder if they're going to form a relationship, I wonder if something more going to come out of it, because I just think that's interesting.
Now I am kind of wondering about Phil. Like, what does he think his position is in Harmony and Hope?
I think he's going to realize, because you remember when Bob had some rude comments, they were talking in the office. Was he drinking?
He was eating chili with some crackers.
Eating chili with crackers?
He was eating something. Because when he walked out, he handed it to Phil.
Yes. I wonder if...
I think it was chili, because he offered him.
I wonder if Phil understands that his position... You're really just... You're another face his way.
You're a boy.
You're
his boy.
Yeah.
He probably knows it's going to be easier for him to come into these black churches and do what he's doing.
He sends Phil to do it. Yeah.
He sends Phil, and I feel like he wouldn't get a lot of things done without Phil.
Right.
But I feel like Phil. I feel like Phil doesn't fully realize that he's being used, or he's a puppet. Like,
he doesn't.
And I think he kind of realized. Well,
yes, I'm wondering when Bob left.
When he handed him the...
Yes, when you basically...
You asked him if he wanted something.
Throw my chili away.
No. You were getting ready to go, and he kind of looked like, what am I supposed to do with this? But that's how he feels about you. You do whatever he tells you to do.
Right.
Get rid of this bowl. Clean it.
I could see he and Charity both feeling unwanted, feeling overlooked, and forming a bond to do some damage. I wonder. I could be wrong. We'll come back in a few weeks and see how that's panning out. A couple of more things that were interesting in this season, in this episode, preparing us for the season. Jacob is going to be pretty much a spiritual coach for.
Yeah, who is the guy? A ball player?
I wonder if it has to be, because he mentioned a general.
We're discussing the guy that he's supposed to be, because Zora has in her mind like, oh, my dad's gonna be his life coach. She even said it. She said he's gonna be his life coach. I'm gonna be his love coach. So here she gonna be in fast for another season.
That little girl.
But as when her and Sophia were talking about it, Sophia brought up the fact that the boy or whatever has been into some kind of trouble. He got in a car accident. And I guess Sophia must have heard through the grapevine or heard something, but she was letting Zora know, he was in a car accident because he had been drinking. So now you all want to get him a spiritual advisor, probably to clean up his image.
Yeah. And I think the general manager's concern was, even though Jacob may be good for that, you're not a pastor. You're not with anyone, so it still isn't maybe going to help his image. But
the mom really wants Jacob to do it. So was this a church member? Like,
I'm not sure if it was a member, maybe from.
Oh no, I take that back. Doris. He kept telling, when Carissa, his phone would ring and they would show Doris Saunders kept calling, and Carissa questioned him like, why didn't you answer your phone? Who is this? He told her, Doris from the church, so I'm assuming Triumph, he didn't say which church, wants me to mentor her son. You don't remember that scene?
Yeah. Triumph, the old church? The church?
Yeah, he just said Doris from the church. So I assumed that he meant from Triumph, because before he told her who was calling, Carissa made the comment, who was that, Tasha? She's still bitter. Yes, as she should be, because there was infidelity number
3, maybe.
Who knows? So, yes, I feel like they're setting it up now. There's going to be an interesting storyline to see Jacob and his mentee. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how is Jacob going to mentor somebody you just got out of an inappropriate relationship with Tasha? So,
well, Jacob more than likely will go down that road with Doris's son or grandson and probably end up in some situations that Carissa will once again have to help him out of.
Well, another interesting point is, so if I am curious to see how this whole thing is going to play out with Jacob being a mentor. But another point that we kind of talked about it, but not really. They have put all this pressure on Grace to make sure that Charity and Jacob have a job as assistant pastor or associate pastor at Calvary, which is now being taken over by Harmony and Hope. So Carissa, after talking to her mom, and her mom pretty much tells her, you don't ask them for these jobs, you tell them. So I feel like she was encouraging her, give them an ultimatum, and which was also letting Grace know, okay, they want me more than I want them. So if I give them the ultimatum, they'll do what I say. Of course it works. They don't want to see Grace go, so they offer Jacob an associate pastor position. And Charity pretty much loses her mind. She goes off and gets really upset, and she tells Carissa, like, I'ma whoop yo. She just really lost her marbles at that moment. So I guess my question to you is, what do you think Grace should have done as far as Charity? I mean, I feel like I'm not gonna say the running joke, but the running consensus in the family is that they don't see Charity as a minister. So it was,
well, they don't see her as a pastor. Like, the extent of what she should do
is sing,
is music director or minister of music,
right?
But I guess they don't consider that true ministry. Yeah. Charity has so many underlining issues that she needs to deal with. Like, she still really hasn't dealt with her husband, her ex-husband. She hasn't dealt with the loss of one of her babies. It's a lot of things that I think it's being manifested in a different way, and she hasn't gotten the proper help that she needs for it. And you can tell. You can tell in her actions and how she's
they had a young
ranting
come for 5 minutes.
Oh, no. She needs ongoing psychiatric help. That girl is crazy. She needs absolute ongoing therapy for her situation. Right. And they just keep blowing it off.
Yeah.
They keep blowing it off as if it's okay. And what she's going to end up doing is damaging the growth of her son because she's not attentive to him at all, which I completely hated how she just brushed off the nanny or the maid or whoever had her baby at the house in one of the scenes this past weekend.
Not thinking about the baby.
Right, this past week. She's already just being, she needs help. She needs help being, and instead of telling her this, the family just kind of, Charity, don't be so dramatic.
Definitely
and this, her. You know what? This to me is a perfect example of the black family or the black community overlooking people with serious mental psychologic dealing with serious inner problems. This girl has serious inner problems, and her family isn't dealing with it. They've even tried. I don't know what happened with the.
Well, honestly,
with the funeral home, she was helping the funeral director. She just
charity should deal with it. Why is your main focus becoming a pastor,
right,
rather than your main focus being
getting help?
Like, you, at some point, you have to acknowledge.
Well, she thinks they're part of the problem. She's not understanding that some of your life's issues is not stemming from your family doesn't give you enough attention. Like, you really do need to deal with what's going on in your personal life, right, instead of your family's not helping you. Help yourself. You have your own issues, and they're to me, where they are in the wrong is not explaining it to her or helping her understand it. And because she resents Grace, she doesn't listen to Grace when Grace tries to help her. So it's just,
well, has Grace tried to help her?
I feel like Grace in the past couple of, I think in the past,
I don't remember Grace really offering her.
It's not like she can add. Yeah, she can't offer her, psychiatric help, but she did tell her at one point when everything was happening with her ex-husband, she really did tell her, you need to take some time, deal with your situation. But she tried to get on the road, have a singing career. She's everywhere. Yes, she's everywhere, and she needs help. She needs help, which means she's only going to wreak havoc this season because she's already pissed at her family. She already isn't getting the help she needs to be stable. She's not getting help from therapy or anything. So she's probably going to do some real damage.
Conversation when, Grace let them know how her conversation went with Bob, which was basically, he's going to give Jacob the associate pastor position. And the family all cheered. I see what Charity meant, because it was like no one acknowledged the fact that he's only offering one job. They were just like, oh, great, this is what we needed, which means they weren't thinking about you getting this anyway.
Yeah.
So at that moment, that's when we see, and I knew that was going to happen. She calls Phil. She's so upset and so hurt now that she accepts. When honestly, I feel like she wanted to accept the deal from Phil anyway, because if you didn't, you would have told him no right then and there. Like, I can't believe you tried to do this. You said, you basically didn't tell him no. You considered it, and then once things didn't go your way, you decided, fine, I'll work with Phil. I don't need y'all. I'll be the spy that he wants me to be.
Right. That's true. I don't think she completely understands that. We're having a little time in the studio, y'all. I don't think she completely understands the damage. See, because she doesn't have a grasp on reality, if you will. I don't think she understands the damage she can do getting into this arrangement with Phil. That's probably going to do more damage on her.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. Like, she even said it. So you want me to be a spy?
Yeah.
Like, what? First off, you know what he's asking you to do.
Right.
Secondly,
and it's not like when it goes bad or when it goes sour or south for her, it's not like she can go to her family and tell them.
Right.
Yeah, she'll have no one to talk to.
Agreeing to throw them under the bus.
Right.
Phil and Bob, and
she'll just spiral out of control.
So yes, this was a very interesting episode. So let's do a recap. Charity has struck a deal with Phil to go against her family. Grace was successful in getting her brother a position with Harmony and Hope. We didn't really talk about it, but it was a little small scene where James is gonna have to court Lady May now. They're just so like Lady May.
She's so funny.
She was my favorite last season. We gotta see how the season turns out, but she's living up to the expectations. She's great. Like, she's pretty much told him, if you want me back, you gotta court me, but technically y'all not even part. Anyway, the cliffhanger.
Yes.
Grace kept getting calls from some inmate, and she was not accepting the calls. Come to find out, the inmate has called his father, which is Noah. So I feel like, okay, here we go again. Grace has been so self-righteous. Now you're going to prove Carissa right. You're going to prove Charity right. That you came with your own skeletons. And you was worried about your mama's skeletons and your uncle's skeletons and your dad's skeletons. And here you are with a whole child in jail.
That's true.
You're not even accepting.
So now you're not even telling what happened.
Well, I guess
in
we're going to have
Arizona.
to see.
So this is going to be a great
this season. Like,
why did you really come home? Were you coming home because of what happened to your sister?
How did you not tell Noah that you... Just like Lady May didn't tell you about your DNA, you didn't tell Noah that you have a whole child with him.
That's in jail.
That's in jail.
So that means y'all have been together for quite some time. Like, for him to grow up and go to jail? It's just... We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, guys.
We will see you guys next week. Don't forget, you can always catch us on the podcast app. YouTube. You can catch us on YouTube at the PK Social. You can also email us.
thepksocial@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook.
Actually, if you're listening, do email us. Email us some comments, your name, something. We can discuss that too in the next episode.
Be sure you follow us Facebook and on Twitter and on Instagram
at the PK Social.
Alrighty, till next time. Have a great week.